Jordo, it's time for bench talk. Now, last episode, I believe, there was one catastrophic problem. There was no LS limiter bashing, so we need to fix that now. Now, it wouldn't be bench talk if there wasn't some RX-8 bashing. Well, speaking of RX-8, if you're not familiar with Doug DeMuro, he's got a huge internet channel. He basically just reviews cars.
The Doug score.
New cars, old cars. It's all about the quirks and features, and in the end, he gives it a Doug score. Popular as every video.
It's amazing.
A million views easy.
I'm amazed how much you can memorise about a car.
He must do a lot of research on the cars before the video. Like, he's got so much little fine details about these cars that you may not know. But anyway, last week he reviewed an RX-8.
This is a 2006 Mazda RX-8.
What are some of the quirks and features?
Perks and features of the RX-8.
Broken engine. What else?
He basically says it's a fun car. It's a fun car, but you probably shouldn't buy it. I mean, no shit Sherlock there. But there's going to be some hateful comments over that one.
This is where I'm going to get all the hate mail from the RX-8 owner.
One thing he says, which we kind of agree on, is he reckons it's a shockingly ugly car.
And that's because I don't like how this car looks. And more specifically, I hate how this car looks.
Yeah, it is easy to say that about a lot of cars that are now 15 years old though.
I think it's because, though, it had that global styling of Mazdas that had at the time. So it basically has a similar look to just the Mazda 3.
The Series 1's like a lot of cars, you know, when you look back on it, the Series 1 looks terrible compared. The later model, the GT model, looked a bit, you know, they put a slightly nicer body kit on it, had better wheels.
Way better finished off, yeah.
Yeah, much nicer car. And it reflects in the prices. They actually they've actually held their value a lot better than the other ones.
So the owner says he hasn't had any real issues with the rotary engine.
Bullshit.
Stains on the engine cover that look suspiciously like the coolant cap went full Fukushima on him.
I was looking at one the other day because you know how I'm looking for the RX-8. And so I looked up the GT model. Pretty neat car, 100% stock. It just says down the bottom, you know, stock car, whatever. It says engine replacement by Mazda at 60,000 kilometres. And I think guy mustn't have serviced it because if you change the oil.
Exactly, just proper maintenance, he never would have had this problem. It should have done 600,000 Ks. Just the HOON update as usual. Residents in Melbourne's southeast are furious after again being woken by HOON drivers overnight. They say the Princess Highway at Oakley East and Springvale has turned into an illegal drag strip with dozens of moronic rev heads driving dangerously.
There'd be a wave of tremendous noise and speeding cars.
Now I reckon that the fans, there could be some LS limiter action going on out the front of old mate's porch here.
There was a wave of tremendous noise. In other words, limiter. And speeding cars. Listener George told 3RW, it happens every Friday night.
And then as the lights changed down at Huntingdale Road, there would be a quiet period and then it would start again.
In the same week, I think they were talking about Holden's proving ground has come up for sale. And of course people were like, group buy, well, this guy's got an idea.
Freedom Factory version 2.
I read the Holden proving grounds are up for sale. Why not have the government buy it and use it to provide a place for people to go and have fun in their cars without being risk to the public? It could also double as a racetrack, a place for schools to take kids to learn how to drive, and even an events area.
Oh, don't be stupid, Jordo. Why would you want to teach a kid how to drive?
Exactly, and not the grey hair brigades come in here. That wouldn't work. HOONs are HOONs and prefer to do the wrong thing. With a bit of...
Surely it's Raylene commenting.
With a bit of luck, one of them will get killed.
Shut up, bitch!
Hang on, they want people to get killed.
Oh, but they've got the moral high ground here. Yeah, they're not happy. Yeah, stuff those hospitals and schools. We need to be building places where dickheads can be dickheads. Safe place, my ass. It is not necessary. These idiots are just testimony to the fact that they are privileged little mummy's boys. What? What are they talking about?
I don't know, somehow that's got to do with dudes cutting sick in single peg V6s.
So let's make a
They're privileged.
let's make a special place for these shoplifters. Why are they shoplifters?
Well, they're criminals. They're murderers, remember?
Shoplifters or rapists? Now they've gone to rapists.
Rapists. Okay.
It is a crime they are committing.
Anything they're raping is ties. Yeah.
Get over it. Some say it's because they are bored.
Does she seriously say they're rapists?
It says rapist. Everyone gets bored. This is an essay. There is 100% more things to do nowadays to stop boredom apart from driving like hoons. They are not capable enough for starters. Book them, jail them. We do it for drug addicts. Seen the safe injecting rooms? Even worse, drugs are 100% legal, only a car isn't. Pretty spot on there, isn't it? Hoon is a hoon.
But I guess being a hoon isn't legal. Far out. Raylene's just unloaded with both barrels there.
She wants, she's putting hoons in the same category as a rock spider, basically. She wants them dead.
Murder, death, kill, murder.
Number one story I've seen trending on Facebook this week is Renee Gracie.
A few DMs.
Bit of a career change.
If you don't know, Renee Gracie was driving. Well, she was driving, I think, in the second tier league, or was it the top tier?
Oh,
they had supercars.
She drove at Bathurst.
Yeah.
You know, by rights is a pretty big achievement.
Yeah, she must have had a lot of talent as a race car driver to get to that, you know, that type of category. But
she's gone into adult entertainment, which, fair enough, why not? But I'm just shell-shocked how many people are paying.
But let's step back a bit. What's going on is, on Instagram, there's something called OnlyFans or something, and you can
Is
interact.
that part of Instagram?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Jordy, I don't think OnlyFans is part of Instagram.
Or is it linked to it or something, right? I don't know. This is how much I know about this. All I know is there's a lot of thirsty blokes out there, and we cannot understand this at all. But she's making a fortune off this.
Good on it.
It's gone from 25, apparently 30 grand a week now. That's absurd money.
Nice, that's crack of money.
And just think how much she could earn if there was no gender pay gap.
I don't know, if she was a bloke,
What is it, 70 cents?
big pay increase. But good on her for earning the cash.
Well, she's got to cash in while it won't last.
But there's quite a few of these videos being sent around, I guess you could say, on messaging.
She's still looking for a pole position. Handles the wet conditions extremely well.
I guess both careers burn a lot of rubber.
Well, during her career, she didn't get on the podium, but things have changed now.
Sure, this is just evolved. This is just going downhill pretty fast, hasn't it?
Well, she's used to starting from the back. Isn't that true?
Yeah, but she might get rear-ended if that's the case.
But to be honest, I'm not a hater. If she wants to go and do that, it's her life.
Oh, good on her. I mean, hey, if that's what makes you happy, go for it.
And she probably knows. She's probably got a small window where she can keep earning this kind of money. It won't last forever.
I actually look at it I look at it more from the fact is, I don't understand with what you can find on the internet, why you actually need to pay for this stuff. I don't get it.
No, I think that's the strangest thing about the whole thing. Rather than her doing porn, or whatever you want to call
It's
it.
not porn. What she's doing is not porn. I mean, usually if you've got a camera and you're earning money, getting your gear off and...
People are watching, and you're charging for it on top of that.
I guess what she's doing, Bill Clinton wouldn't refill it. Bill Clinton. In other news, did you see there's a new, is it a movie or documentary about Peter Brock?
It's called Over the Top.
Did you say over the top?
There's a new trailer out for this feature-length documentary about, I guess it's about Brock's life. Not just in the car and everything, but just his life in general about his racing career.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be a few Holden fans wanting to watch that. At one stage there, it's like he was Australia's Michael Jordan, yeah?
Do you remember growing up? I remember watching, I think what year would this have been? It's when he had the VP, I think it was. All hyped Bathurst, you know, what is it, 10:30 in the morning, whatever.
Is that when they broke the diff? Was he stalled it? Was it that?
His tail shaft broke. Something happened to the car, and the lights go green, and he's just stranded on the grid.
But no one hit him.
No one hit him. Everyone just drove around him.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, but by the
You
time
had to feel for the poor bloke.
No, but I remember I was just Devo. I was just like, oh my god, Brock, the Holden, what the hell? The whole race, it was just, I
think because we had a VP at the time.
Yeah, he's got the VP. I didn't mind the look of the VP. That was outside the Group A rules, and so it had
that's right.
It kind of had the more race car look to it, the big wing and everything on the back. It was people outside of Australia. He was a very, very well-known racing car driver in Australia.
He did some stuff in Europe too, dude. What on earth is that? Jordo, I see you've been showing some ideas for Project GSR.
Project GSR, check this out. I think we can...
Forget the sequential gearbox. You've got to get your priorities in order.
We need to go to the fiberglasses and go bananas on it.
I always think it's a bit of a complete failure when you look at a car and you're actually like, what car is it?
Yeah, because they kind of put so many shapes and angles, you can't even tell what headlights they are.
It looks like it's come off the set of Blade Runner. Like it's some futuristic car, I'll just put 65 angles and... No, that's a no from me. Your favourite part of Bench Talk, for some reason, is new cars. We don't even feature new cars, but you love it. You love talking about what's going on in the new car world.
Mazda 3, grocery getter, finally getting a turbocharger.
Apparently all-wheel drive, are you? Auto only, I'm assuming.
Well, they've gone the dark side. Like everything these days, everything gets downsized turbo. It makes sense, but they're finally... I think you're going to have a turbo, I think in... It says here they're only going to be available in a 6-speed auto.
Yeah. The days of manual, all-wheel drive manuals, I think they're over. You're only going to be able to get a manual, really, in a front-wheel drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lower-end car, but...
No, going forward, like what you'd call a hot hatch all-wheel drive turbo, they're all going to be autos.
Yeah,
better get a manual one. Yeah, it's finished.
Speaking of new cars, have you seen the latest Triton, Mitsubishi Triton Ute?
That's basically a Stormtrooper with a tray on the back.
They've just got a massive plastic face and stuck it on the car. It is awful. I've seen a few with just the open tray on the back and everything. What were they thinking with their styling, Mitsubishi?
It's the Empire. Haven't you noticed it? It basically looks like a Stormtrooper head on the front of the Ute. It's got this full-on futuristic front and this crappy tray.
The lights are so high, it looks like it's kind of like this.
A lot of cars look like that now.
It's just got this awful front end. There's one parked in my house, and I'm always looking at it going, that is just awful.
There's not many new cars coming out. It's like they get a basic car, what is it? It's just a basic work ute, it's supposed to be, and they're trying to put like supercar lines on them.
Yeah, and nothing...
It just doesn't work, just keep it simple. Because it's exactly like you said, this global look. So they have one look that the brand goes for, and then they try and adapt it to every type of vehicle, when it might work on an SUV maybe, but it doesn't mean it's going to work on everything.
No, it's like Mitsubishi when they did the Evo 10, that style of headlight. It was on everything. It was even on their their basic SUV or van or whatever they did. It was just that headlight.
But we are talking Mitsubishi here.
Yeah, I know.
The blandest car manufacturer in the world.
In the toilet, that brand.
Oh, good. Hey, another car I've been looking at, 3000 GTs. What do you reckon? The worst car in the world to work on? It's not like I'll be working on it, so that doesn't matter.
That's one of those ones, throw a 20-cent coin into the engine bay, it will not hit the ground.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Oh, bad.
See this render that came out during the week, a 4000 GTR they were calling it? It's interesting. The back looks a bit odd.
I don't mind it. Because they still had those killer retro lights, the front lights. Because the 3000 GT or GTO, as it's known as, the Mark 1 with the pop-up lights, to me, I don't know, that's the only one you'd buy.
Yeah, it all went a bit round after that. But,
it got a bit Americanised after that. No, but the series, the first one, looks fantastic. But watch this space. There might be a little project build coming up on fullBOOST in the future. Have you seen the new, not sold here, the Toyota Sienna? I think...
it kind of looks like a car merged with a van.
It's sort of like a new version of a Tarago, basically, a Toyota Tarago that sold here ages ago. It's one of these cars... It's got some interesting styling, not like the Triton, but it's one of those cars that if you put the right wheels in the guards, it possibly could look all right on some angles.
How big is
then it could look terrible.
How big is the grille getting on these Toyotas?
It's like got full Lexus-style grille in a van. It looks like they've tried to make it's less van and more SUV, but it's still a van.
A Sienna is both longer and wider than a Toyota Land Cruiser. It's a behemoth SUV. The Sienna is nearly 5.2 metres long. That's a big car.
That's a huge bitch.
Aussies on top once again. Matooks.
Matooks in Sydney, they went 647, 219.9 mile an hour
219.
in their R32 race car.
That's some RB Kings right there.
So they've just gone ahead of every R35 in the States for the fastest all-wheel drive pass in the world. This thing just takes off like a
How
bullet.
is the launch? It's just... You can see though, you know, in drag racing why automatics rule.
No, I can't beat them.
It's so, just the way the torque transfers, like imagine trying to do that with a manual transmission. It'd just be like, everything would just be shocked. That car is on song. Geez, how sweet does it sound?
How clean is that tune-up?
Well done, guys.